Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. My name is Caitlin and today we are getting ready to go to a soccer game. So I'm going to show you products that are not new to me, however they're ones that I use when I need the makeup to last. Like very long wearing products and how to layer and do things to make it last, because I need this to last probably for like a good 10 hours at least today. So that's what we're getting into. This is the look finished. But we're about to go back in time and see how we did it. So if that sounds good to you, keep on watching. Before we get too far into the video, if you haven't already, I would love it if you would consider subscribing. I upload twice a week. It's totally free to subscribe and I would love to have you back again on the channel. All right, let's go back in time to me wearing no makeup and see the transformation. All right, so I already know that this is gonna be a late night. The game does not even start until 7:30 p.m. And soccer games are, I think, 80 minutes, 90 minutes, something like that long. So I'm going in with my Milk Makeup Hydro Grip Primer to give us a nice tacky base for everything to hopefully stick to and last. I have noticed with this primer sometimes, like when it gets later in the night, when I wear this for a while, it can start to pill. So I'm going to also use other barriers, things later to try to make this more long lasting to try to prevent that. Next, I'm going to use this little Tarte Ultra Creamy Shape Tape. I actually like this for spot concealing. This is in 12 and Fair Neutral. I didn't like this under the eyes, but I think it does a really good job of spot concealing. So any place I have either active acne or acne scarring that hasn't faded yet, I'm just going to place a bit of this concealer. I'm not putting it under the eyes. I am going to put something under the eyes. That is going to be the Wet n Wild Incognito All Day Full Coverage Concealer. Mine's in shade Fair. This is lighter than my skin tone, so I like this for brightening, but I'm going to wait and do that like on top of the foundation. So I'm gonna let this set, do the foundation, and then do the brightening concealer over top of that. I know it's extra, but this is my like makeup. Like, it's gonna be good, it's gonna last, it's gonna look good the whole time. like, this is it, this is the process. So this is what I gotta do. While I'm waiting for that to set down, I'm gonna go ahead and prime my eyelids with the Lovecraft and Beauty eyeshadow primer. This one, it is basically the same as the Urban Decay eyeshadow primer potion. Also, Wet n Wild makes one like this that it's like, it has no base color to it really. The only difference, this one's I would say closer to the Wet n Wild one, just component wise. The Urban Decay one does have an applicator, like a wand, which I like the applicator better. Like, I like having an applicator. I don't like using my fingers in makeup if I don't have to, but I will say this is probably more sanitary because you're just squirting out whatever you need and not redunking an applicator that you've swiped on your eyes back into the rest of the tube. So do with that information what you want. So to blend the concealer out, I'm using this Hip Dot shading brush. I know it's not meant for concealer, but it's a really dense brush, and that's the kind of brush I like to do this next step with. And I basically will just go around the perimeter of where I put the concealer around like the scarring or the acne, and just kind of feather the edges. I try not to go over or touch the actual blemish itself. Does it happen sometimes? Yes. Do I sometimes have to go back in and then, you know, redo it again? Yes. But I try not to touch it. Now around here, I'm not as careful. This is just for redness that I have around the nose. There's no like acne, so I don't have to be as careful about just getting the edges on these. And I let this, it's like almost completely dry. So that's partially why I do this under the foundation, because sometimes you do have to work a little bit to blend in the edges if you let it dry, but it gives it more full coverage that way. But then if you don't perfectly blend out the edges, it's not that big of a, I just dropped my brush. It's not that big of a deal because we're gonna go over it with foundation. So today I am using the Lancome Teint Idole Ultra Wear Care and Glow 120 Neutral Foundation. It's okay. It's not my favorite. It's not my least favorite, but you know, it was sent to me for testing. I've kind of formed my opinions about it, but That being said, you know, they sent me a full-size product, and at the end of the day, if I get sent free product, I'm gonna use it, you know? I'm not gonna waste it, but I would say you don't necessarily need to purchase it, especially for the price and for the very strong rosy floral scent. It does dissipate though, luckily. And this is just one pump, like a lot comes out that's gonna last you a while. I will say that as well. It has SPF 27, but for me that's not enough. However, the seats where we have are pretty much like over, like or under like an awning type situation, so I shouldn't be getting too much sun. And it doesn't start till 7:30, so you know, I think we're covered there. I'm just gonna blend it out with a Laura Lee Los Angeles L11 brush. So how are you guys doing lately? I have not done really like a life check-in, get ready with me lately. I mean, I'm going day by day right now. Work is incredibly stressful and busy, and I don't mind being busy. I really don't. Actually, I kind of like being busy, but the stress, whew, it's been another level recently. And so, yeah, that makes you kind of step back and reevaluate some things. But like I said, we keep going day by day, take it one day at a time, get it figured out. Wes is a great support system to me. We all got bills to pay, right? So we just keep going. And that's about all I'm gonna say about work, because I wanna, you know, not be negative, and there are positive things. I am directing a musical right now. It is the stage version of the book Little Women, and I'm very excited for that performance. The students have been working really hard, and I just know, I can tell like it's all starting to come together, and it's gonna be wonderful, a great performance. So there are good things amongst the stress and the things causing the stress at work. All right, so now I'm going in with that concealer, that brightening one, and I'm gonna do that now so that it can sit for a bit. And I want it to sit again because I do feel like that helps with the just the coverage, and I am starting to get a little bit of darkness in here, I have noticed lately, so do what we can to cover that up. And since this is, you know, concealer that's covering more of my face, I will use a different brush when I go to address all this, but we're gonna let it sit for a bit and work on the brows here. So I just like to brush them up first, just so I can see where I really actually need to fill them in. This is Laura Lee Los Angeles as well, an L29 brush. Don't think this particular set of brushes is available anymore, but she does have other brushes that look really, really great in like kind of like a greeny color that look really nice. Would love to have them. Doing my best in the low buy. I think I will finally have my makeup inventory collection video like done, ready, up to go soon in March, months later. I know most people do those at the end of the year or the beginning of the year, but it was more of an undertaking than I thought it would be. So, you know, it's gonna happen when it happens. That's a bit of my motto this year. I'm just going in with the NYX Tame and Frame Tinted Brow Pomade. Mine's in shade Brunette. I like to just do the bottom as far as like the definition part, and then with whatever left on the brush, I kind of blend upward into the rest of my hair, so it's a little more unkempt on top, intentionally, you know, more of like the feathered look on top, but it's still structured on the bottom. I've had people ask me lately like how the wedding planning and stuff is going. Yeah, because of how wild work has been lately, it's not going at all. And nothing is wrong with Wes and I, like we're still getting married and everything. I just simply, I don't have time to address really anything other than work, which is part of my stress and problem with work currently, trying to find a bit of balance that I don't seem to have at the moment. I am sure that some of you can relate with that struggle. I'm going to use the Laura Lee Los Angeles L24 now, just to blend out this concealer. This is more of like a flat, I guess it's angled. It's bigger. It is marketed as a concealer brush, and I really, really like this one. See, so now like all that acne scarring and everything, like can't really see it anymore, which was indeed the goal. So now I'm gonna take my little poof here. Got these from Amazon, my Coty Airspun Extra Coverage Translucent Setting Powder. Gonna put most of the powder here. Then I am going to very lightly set the under eyes, lightly so they don't crease, and also lightly because otherwise it will look very dry and crepe-like. I'm gonna do the chin, and not the whole forehead, but just right here, like where I put that concealer. If I put it like here or here, it tends to settle in some lines. And then I'm gonna go a little bit over here just because there were some other spots with concealer that I had going on that I want to set with the powder. And that is it for setting powder. Let's go to bronzer slash contour. I say bronzer slash contour because this is the Marc Jacobs Omega Bronze. It says Perfect Tan Bronzer. Mine's in shade 102 Tantric. However, it is very cool toned, so I never know. I'm like, does that make it bronzer or not? This is huge. I'm finally starting to get the embossing to go away, but I'm just saying that because like I've had this a while and I've used it a lot, and there's still so much product in here. If you are my complexion, I would highly recommend this. It was $17 at TJ Maxx, and it is my favorite bronzer, contour, whatever you want to call it, that I've ever used. And I do tend to like cooler tones on myself. If I want something warm toned, I usually will do that with a blush over top of it. I'm not gonna go like too defined with my nose. I'm just using what's left on the angled brush here, not going in with any sort of tiny detail nose contour situation at this point, because I am just gonna go and clean up the nose and the cheekbones with powder anyway. Now I'm going in with the same puff, and I'm gonna use the edge of it just to bake the nose a little bit. And then also the jawline. And we're just gonna look crazy for a little bit while that sits and bakes. Basically, that's just gonna make my my cheekbones even more defined and slightly skinify my nose. I think you guys will see when I wipe it away. I'm gonna go ahead and put in a little bit of the NYX Bear With Me Cannabis Sativa Seed Oil Brow Setter. This one's clear, not tinted. That just keeps my brows kind of up in that like feathered shape that I like throughout the day so they don't fall now that I've filled them in. And I think I'm gonna try today to use the Glaminatrix Nearly Natural palette. Haven't used this one yet. And I'm gonna go ahead and start with my Ace Beauté Palette Appli P1 brush in Barely There, and hope that we have a better experience with our first impression of this palette than we did with the Nocturnal palette. I'll leave my video linked trying that one recently if you haven't seen it yet. And we're gonna go in with Barely There, and I'm just gonna put that all in the crease on both eyes. Okay, I haven't done one for a long time, but I think I'm gonna try a halo eye. I'm gonna go in with Untouched. I don't want something too deep on the outer corners. I'm gonna go in with a Morphe M456 and try to put a bit of this both on the outer portion of the eye and the inner portion of the eye. Then we're gonna go back to that first brush just to mingle with the crease shade a little bit, make sure everything's all blended. Then we're gonna put a little, just a little of Naturally, this deeper shade. And I put that both out here and in here. Here's what we're looking at so far. Put just a little bit of the Ulta Glitter Primer on an L27 brush and just pat that in the center only of both eyes, where we're gonna get that halo, spotlight, whatever you want to call it, effect. And I am gonna go quite high up because I have hooded eyes and I want the like halo to actually be seen even when my eyes are open. And I'm gonna go in with Raw, this shade right here. Same brush, using kind of the sticky portion. Just gonna put that right there. So far, yes, I am having a better experience with this palette than the Nocturnal. No shades have fallen out yet, so you know, that's step one, but also none of these shimmers feel, well, I've used one shimmer. I should not judge the whole palette yet. This shimmer I'm using, it doesn't feel dry like the one did in that palette, the one that fell out. What do you guys think? We're obviously not done yet, but you know, I think the eye looks really nice. I am gonna go in with a little rougher number 3 brush and take Unveiled, this shade. It's kind of like a light pinky, and I'm gonna put that in the inner corners. Ooh, that is like putty feeling in the pan. And I do like those types of shimmers, the like putty squishy ones. I'm gonna take my angled liner brush from Storybook Cosmetics and use Disrobe. It almost looks like a deeper green or gray. Be really careful not to get fallout, and I'm gonna stamp this as my shadow liner. Okay, first impressions, like this one a lot. That one is not part of their, I know they were doing a sale on a couple palettes I mentioned in that other video I did recently on Glaminatrix. That one's not part of their sale, but it is still available for purchase. I'm gonna go in now with blush. Gonna use the Rouge Bromance from Jaclyn Hill Cosmetics, and I am gonna use a combination of Admirer and French Kiss. So I'm taking the same angled brush that I used for the contour, and I'm just gonna place it right here, a little bit above where I put the contour bronzer situation. I'm gonna take a big brush. This one's from Midas Cosmetics. It's technically a blush brush. They're 1129, but I do not put blush on with a brush this big. I just don't. And then I'm gonna wipe away that powder that I had baking, and you can see it's not like a harsh line, but it does define the cheekbone a bit more. At least I feel like it does. And then I'm also gonna wipe away the nose powder and a nose job. and then I'm also gonna put on the nose. I'm gonna bring back out, where is it? The brush that I used for the concealer actually. And I'm going into the Complexion Trio by Alamar Cosmetics. I'll leave a link to the video. I tried this for the first time. I was kind of like, eh, but I have found this Rise and Grind lighted shade. I actually like using that for a little bit of nose highlight down the middle here. I think the combination of baking and adding this really does make my nose look a bit, I don't want to say smaller, like narrower. I don't know how I would describe it. I put it right down the middle, basically where I put the concealer before, trying to re-emphasize the like brightest high point of the nose. What do you guys think? Do you think it looks different? Do you think it looks the same? Too many steps for it to not have a big enough difference? I feel like it looks different when I do it. So at this point I'm going to do the other step that's really going to lock this in long term, and that is using the Benefit Professional Super Setter. This is the only setting spray I have found that not only locks in and like fully takes the longevity to this stays on until I want it to come off, but without having that like hairspray on your face feeling. Because there's stuff like Urban Decay All Nighter that like, yeah, it'll lock it in, but I don't want my face to feel like stiff, like I put hairspray on my face. This makes my makeup last, but doesn't feel like hairspray on my face. So I really like it. It is a prestige brand, a little bit more expensive. I think it's $33 normally, but look at the Ulta 21 Days of Beauty sale or something like that. Wait for a sale. I think they had it half off last time. This was 15 bucks at that point. I'm about halfway gone with this. I reserve it just for special occasions when I need my makeup to last. And I will definitely repurchase this when I see it go on sale again. It's wonderful. And I'm not shy about it. I'm generous, you will see. It's a very fine mist. There is a scent. I usually hold my breath. And I put the mister pretty close to my face, I will say. But it's a really fine mist. It's not going to give you little like droplet globules that will like ruin your foundation. I can't say good enough things about this product. I'm going to let it set down a little bit. That also helps like with all the layers of powder and stuff we've used at this point. Helps bring the skin-like look a bit back to the skin, in my opinion. If I want to do highlighter, this is the point I do it. I think I'm going to do a little bit, but I don't want to go too much. I'm going to go in with my Morphe JH09 brush, and I'm using the Maybelline Master Chrome Metallic Highlighter. It's just a little like light champagne-y color, nothing that's like super intense. When I bought this, this was the most intense highlighter I had ever used. And times have changed, you know, it's been years and she's almost gone. So we're gonna work on using it up a little bit here and give us a little bit of a glow. See, just a little bit of shine, nothing like from outer space in my opinion, but a little glow. Curl in the lashes. Honestly, this would be really pretty with falsies, but I don't want to wear falsies all those hours at an athletic event, you know what I mean? So out of all the mascaras I own currently, this is my favorite. It is the KVD Go Big or Go Home Volumizing Mascara. And yeah, I just think it really does volumize and separate the lashes, which I love. Has anyone watched any good shows, seen any good movies, played any good games lately? I've been so busy at work, I haven't gotten to play the games I even got for Christmas, which is disappointing to me because I'm looking forward to playing them. I got a Plague Tale on PS5. I really want to play, I just haven't had time because I know myself. I can't just sit and play like half an hour, an hour. I gotta have at least like a 2 to 3 hour block to be able to enjoy playing it, or I feel rushed. And show-wise, Wes and I have been watching The Boys on Amazon Prime. We're almost done with all the seasons on there. I think now that it's starting to get a little nicer, I say a little nicer, it's like, you know, been 40s lately and 50s instead of 20s. I'm really looking forward to getting outside. Partially for, you know, curing the seasonal depression, but also partially because I'm not in a fracture boot anymore. I might actually be able to like go on a walk. I love going on walks outside, you guys. So I'm really looking forward to doing some of those activities that I could not do last summer because of my injury. All right, so I do layer a few coats on, but there's what it looks like. I should have really done one side with and one without so you could see how dramatically different it is. Oh, the spotlight eye, the halo eye, I think it came out so good. Okay, I think we just need a lip at this point and then we're done, right? For lips, we're gonna go with Melt. This is the, what is this called? All Day Everyday Ultra Matte Lip Liner. Need to sharpen it a little quick minute here. This is in shade Foxy, so we're gonna line with that. And then in the middle, also Melt, this little ultra matte lipstick in shade Tease. I love the smell of Melt's lipsticks. And here is the final look, guys. I'm just wearing my really comfy Toledo Walleye shirt because it's made, since it's hockey, for the sleeves to be really long. Even though I'm going to see soccer and not hockey, it's outdoors, so I wanted something warm under my coat. Nobody's actually gonna see what's on it. And yeah, this is the look for the game. What do you guys think? Something nice and neutral, but glam, and it's gonna last. My hair is probably gonna end up going up in like a top bun because I have one of those like hats with a hole in the top that your bun goes through, again because it's gonna be like 40 probably, so I'm gonna be dressed really warmly. So basically you'll just see like my face and the glam and not the hair, so I wasn't worried about really doing my hair if I'm gonna put it up. And yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed this video, seeing just some products I'm loving really a lot recently, and products that are like guaranteed go-to for long lasting makeup, and first impressions with the eyeshadow there as well in this video. So if you like it, don't forget to give it a thumbs up, and I hope to see you again on the next one. Bye!